If someone who says they love you treats your existence like a burden they secretly wish would disappear, you are not imagining things. If the person closest to you watches you suffer, exhausted or sick, with a cold kind of satisfaction, you are sensing something real. If you feel calmer when they are gone and more alive in their absence, your nervous system may be trying to protect you. This is not simple miscommunication. This is hostility dressed up as love. And if you are hearing this right now, a part of you already understands that the danger you feel is not paranoia, it is perception. I need you to subscribe to this channel right now, because what I am about to share could be the difference between remaining trapped in confusion and finally recognizing the truth that frees you. Let me be clear from the beginning. When I say a narcissist wants you gone, I'm not speaking only about physical violence, though that risk should never be ignored. I'm talking about something quieter and far more insidious, something that unfolds in ordinary moments of daily life. I'm talking about a type of psychological and emotional destruction so calculated, so persistent, and so effective that it can take everything from you without leaving a visible bruise. A narcissist does not need to raise a hand to end a life. They can do it through silence, neglect, sabotage, and the slow erosion of your health, sanity, and will to continue. They operate in ways that allow them plausible deniability, letting them appear innocent or even like the victim while you deteriorate right in front of them. The 6 signs I am about to walk you through are not metaphors. They are behavioral patterns that signal active hostility toward your existence. Once you see them clearly, you cannot unsee them. The first sign is medical neglect or interference. A narcissist who wants you erased will show deep indifference to your physical well-being, or they will interfere with your ability to receive care. You tell them you hurt, and they minimize it. You say you need a doctor, and they call you dramatic. You mention a worrying symptom, and they laugh, mock, or abruptly change the subject. But it goes further than dismissal. They schedule things that clash with appointments. They forget to collect medication. They criticize you for spending money on treatment. They insist you are fine and accuse you of exaggerating. And if you manage to get help, they undermine it. They question diagnoses. They claim the doctor is mistaken. They discourage you from taking prescribed medicine. They create chaos and stress that worsens your condition. And while all this happens, they watch. They watch you decline and feel nothing, or even relief, because your weakness benefits them. Your illness keeps you dependent. Your suffering keeps you small. If you disappeared, they would not have to deal with you anymore. Notice their reaction when you are unwell. Someone who loves you shows concern. Someone who wants you gone shows contempt. The second sign is financial strangulation. Money is survival. It is food, shelter, escape, and safety. A narcissist who wants you destroyed understands this deeply. They control your access to resources with precision. They isolate you from income. They sabotage your work. They take your earnings while contributing nothing. They open accounts in your name. They drain shared funds. They hide assets. They make you beg for necessities while spending freely on themselves. And when you protest, they call you greedy or ungrateful. This is not about materialism. This is about survival. Financial abuse traps you. When you cannot afford to leave, you stay. When you cannot afford therapy, confusion continues. When you cannot afford safety or medical care, your body begins to fail. And they watch calmly because your poverty equals their control. If every expense is monitored, every purchase punished, and earning money forbidden, you are being systematically weakened. The third sign is strategic isolation. A narcissist who wants you erased cuts you off from support, reflection, and rescue. They do it slowly so you barely notice until you are alone. They criticize friends. They label family toxic. They create conflict between you and anyone who cares. They schedule events that prevent gatherings. They monitor messages. They interrogate conversations. They punish connection outside the relationship. Eventually, you withdraw. You stop reaching out because the aftermath is exhausting. You cancel plans because the tension hurts. You lose contact with people who once knew you and could see what was happening. That is exactly what they want. Isolation removes witnesses. It removes reality checks. It removes escape routes. Alone with them, they rewrite your reality. They convince you cruelty is care and abuse is love. Isolation is deliberate, not accidental. The fourth sign is the active destruction of your mental health. A narcissist who wants you gone does not ignore psychological pain. They manufacture it. They nurture it. They gaslight you until you doubt your memory. They provoke reactions and then call you crazy. They give silent treatment until desperation appears and then shame you for needing reassurance. They tell you are too sensitive, too broken to function. Then they use your trauma responses as proof you are the problem. They sleep peacefully while you lie awake replaying conversations. They continue life while you spiral into anxiety and depression. When you say you struggle, they ask why you are always like this. Over time, you believe them. You wonder if you are toxic. Maybe you are the disorder. Maybe you cause everything unbearable. But the truth is, your mental crisis is a consequence of living where reality is denied and worth is attacked. A person who loves you does not push you to the edge of sanity and blame you for standing there. A narcissist does. If this lands heavily in your chest, I need you to do something for yourself. Subscribe to this channel because the information here is not entertainment. It is survival knowledge. The more you understand the patterns around you, the more power you reclaim. The fifth sign is pleasure in your pain. This one is hardest to accept because it forces you to face something disturbing. The person you trusted may be your opponent. They do not comfort you. They do not hold space for grief. They feel something colder. You see it in a faint smile when you cry. You hear it in the tone when they describe your failures. You sense they become energized when you are lowest. This contradicts everything you learned about love. Love wants you to thrive. A narcissist consumes. Your pain proves their power. Your tears confirm their impact. Your breakdown feeds their superiority. They do not want healing or growth. They want you diminished and dependent. If you vanished, they would mourn losing control, not losing you. Watch their face when you hurt. Someone who loves you hurts with you. Someone who wants you gone glows. The sixth sign is passive, lethal negligence. This is the most covert and dangerous pattern. A narcissist creates conditions where harm becomes likely while maintaining deniability. They do not push you off the cliff. They walk you to the edge and release your hand. They ignore safety concerns. They encourage you to drive exhausted or ill. They expose you to allergens and call it an accident. They mishandle medication or fail to call for help in crisis. When harm occurs, they act shocked. They play concerned partner. But patterns are not accidents. Patterns are choices. If they consistently fail to protect you, fail to notice danger, and fail to intervene, awareness is not paranoia. It is recognition. I know how heavy this realization is. Understanding that someone you loved may have wished for your disappearance is destabilizing. But the fact you are still here means a part of you has been fighting for your life the entire time. That part deserves to be honored. It deserves belief. So hear this clearly. You are not making it up. You are not dramatic. If your body says danger, your body is right. If instincts say this person is unsafe, they are signaling truth. The voice telling you to leave is not fear. It is wisdom. Narcissists do not need murder to destroy a life. They do it slowly, quietly, with countless invisible cuts until you barely recognize yourself. But they did not count on your resilience. They did not count on your awakening. Now you have a choice. Remain and continue fading, or begin reclaiming your life, health, reality, and future. It will not be easy and it will not be quick, but it will be worth it because you matter. The life you were meant to live still exists beyond them. So before leaving today, subscribe if you have not already. This is not just content. It is a community where your reality is acknowledged and your survival matters. Stay connected, stay informed, stay empowered. Take the next breath, then the next step. Your life is not over. It is beginning again, and the person who hoped you would disappear is about to learn how strong you truly are. They do not want you to recover. They do not want you to evolve. They do not want you to rise into your full strength. They want you smaller, discouraged, and dependent on them for survival. And if you were to suddenly cease to exist, they would grieve the loss of their supply, not the loss of you as a human being. That is the painful truth. So watch their eyes, watch their expression, watch carefully how they respond when you are hurting, when you are overwhelmed, when you are at your lowest, because someone who genuinely loves you will ache with you. Someone who secretly wants you gone will seem almost illuminated by your pain. The sixth sign is passive, lethal negligence. This is the most subtle and the most dangerous sign of all. A narcissist who wants you erased will construct conditions where serious harm becomes increasingly possible, while they maintain complete deniability. They will not shove you off a cliff. Instead, they will guide you to the edge and casually release your hand. They will leave doors unlocked in unsafe areas. They will dismiss the safety concerns you bring up. They will pressure you to drive when you are exhausted, sick, or barely able to focus. They may give you food they know you are allergic to and later insist it was an honest mistake. They will forget medication or interfere with dosages. They will tell you that you are fine when you are clearly in crisis. They will delay calling for help when help is urgently needed. They will create scenarios where you are physically vulnerable and then conveniently be absent when the consequences unfold. And when something does happen, when you are injured, when you fall ill, when you narrowly survive, they will act shocked. They will say they had no idea. They will perform the role of the worried partner, but deep inside, you will know that this pattern was not carelessness. It was intention disguised as coincidence, because patterns are not accidents. Repeated behavior is not random. A pattern is a decision made over and over again. And if you have observed that this person continually fails to protect you, repeatedly ignores danger, and consistently refuses to intervene when you are at risk, you are not imagining it. You are not paranoid. You are perceptive, and that awareness is the first step toward survival. I understand how heavy this realization feels. I understand how destabilizing it can be to consider that someone you loved may have quietly wished for your disappearance, your erasure, your end. That is not a small thing to process. But I also know something else. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still searching for clarity, means that a part of you has been fighting for your life all along. That part of you never surrendered. That part of you deserves recognition. That part of you deserves to be listened to. That part of you deserves to be believed. So let me say this as plainly as possible. You are not inventing this. You are not being overly dramatic. You are not overreacting to nothing. If your body is signaling danger, your body is telling the truth. If your instincts are whispering that this person does not have your best interests at heart, your instincts are grounded in reality. And if something deep within you is screaming that you need to leave, that voice is not weakness. That voice is wisdom. That voice is your survival instinct. That voice is your will to live, and it is stronger than every lie you have been fed. The truth is that narcissists do not need to commit a visible crime to dismantle a life. They do it gradually. They do it quietly. They do it with countless small wounds that no one else can see. And by the time you begin to grasp what has been happening, you are drained, disoriented, and so emotionally depleted that you barely recognize yourself in the mirror. But here is what they failed to anticipate. They did not account for your resilience. They did not account for your capacity to wake up and see clearly. They did not expect you to cut through the fog and name what was done to you. And now that you see it, now that you understand it, you stand at a crossroads. You can remain and continue fading, or you can begin reclaiming your life, your health, your clarity, and your future. It will not be simple, it will not be immediate, but it will be worth it because you are worth the effort. You are worth safety. You are worth peace. The life you were meant to live before this person entered your world still exists. It has been waiting patiently for you beyond the confusion and control. So before you leave today, I am asking you to take one final step. If you have not already, subscribe to this channel. This is not just another stream of content. This is a community of people who truly understand what you have endured. This is a space where your experiences are validated, where your pain is acknowledged, and where your survival is honored. Do not return to isolation. Do not return to doubting your own reality. Stay connected, stay educated, stay empowered. Press that subscribe button right now. Then take the next breath. Then take the next step. Your life is not finished. It is beginning again. And the person who quietly hoped you would disappear is about to realize that you are far more powerful than they ever imagined.